Welcome to Brand Builders TV. Deep dive topics, tools and resources brought to you by global thought leaders from within the Brand Builders Club. This show gives you access to the strategies that you can use to move forward with ease and flow in every area of your life and business. On today's show, Fiona gives you some brilliant strategies for creating stronger boundaries. This session is especially essential if you know that you are a people pleaser. Fiona is a published author and advisor to several holistic businesses and many practitioners. She's been in practice herself since the 1990s with a range of detailed yet holistic methods which she continues to refine and grow. Fiona has worked with hundreds of individuals improving their health conditions, which they had often been told to just get over and live with. She's a wise and generous visionary, always seeking to guide you to move forward into mental, emotional and physical clarity. How does she maintain strong boundaries at the same time as living her highest value of contribution? Well, you're about to find out. Learn it, model it and get shit done. Let's go.
Hello, good afternoon. My name's Fiona Dilston and this is Brand Builders TV. This is the second part of my series on people pleasing, and it's an interesting one, not always an easy one, and I'm just conscious of the impact that it's had on my life. I'm conscious on sorry about this. I am conscious of the impact that it has had on my life. I'm also conscious of the impact that being a people pleaser has on other people's lives, other people who are close to me, or maybe other people I've worked with. And there has been often a sense of, how can I put it? A sense of my people pleasing has impacted other people. My poor boundaries. And, poor boundaries, people pleasing, poor boundaries. There's no separation. There's no... it's messy. It's messy. So, what I want to talk about is the ability, the capacity to say no. To actually rein something in. And with boundaries, you need to set them from the start. Or it's just like if you've been driving along the road and you've been used to finding a shortcut and you can't find it anymore, then you start questioning. You start saying to yourself, I used to be able to do it that way. I can't now. What's going on here? And then there's a funny old setup. So, yes, clarity is huge. And clarity can be very, very difficult when you are that people pleaser. When you are that person who has always got yourself out of the way, who has always made things easy, who has always made things possible. And I heard a lovely story yesterday from a lady who's working with me, somebody who's having some counselling and some EFT, possibly a little bit homeopathy in there as well, depending. And she's made huge leaps and bounds. And she's just negotiated, bought herself a bigger house, and she was having conversation with her husband and her daughter. She works from home, she has her practice at home, and she had her daughter saying, "Oh, but that front room, Mum, I could put some bean bags in there. I could, it'd be really nice when my friends come round, so that, we're not in the sitting room." And, this child, 12, 13, is going to have a decent sized bedroom. So her mum was putting her foot down and saying no, which is great, which is boundaries, which is mum looking after herself. Then Dad puts his oar in, and Dad's going, "Oh, that would be, we could have the old sofa in that room, have a small sofa in that room, and I could, we could have board games out there." And my lovely lady, she's going, "I don't think so." And the importance of pleasing yourself is flipping huge. There is a whole need to be, particularly if you are a therapist, particularly if you are working with other people, you have got to make sure that your energy is nice, is tight, is centered, feels good. If you are constantly stepping out of your own comfort zone to appease somebody else, to make something right for somebody else, just look at it. Look at the way my arms are moving. And as they're moving out, they're pulling back in stuff from other places. So I just urge you to sit with your arms in, see how it feels. Spread your arms, see how it feels. And there is a real importance in being okay with, as Philippa is saying here, changing your mind. And people don't like it though. I've been in a situation where I was very, very, very laid back because I felt it was the right thing to do at certain times in my life. And, sort of hippie, alternative, new age, call it what you will. And I used to have a little cottage which was like out in the wilds, and people would turn up and kind of stay for a few days. And when I think about that now, sort of more than 20 years on, I'm like, what? No. And that's a long time. I've grown, I've changed. But I came up against that mentality, or mentality is maybe the wrong word, that state in somebody else. And I was like, no, you can't stay the night. Do you mind asking before you start making yourself a cup of tea and taking over? And you need to be clear, like I was saying, in your boundaries, and make it clear with other people. Who do you want in your circle? Okay, think about it. Who do you want in there? Who's in the wider circle that's maybe by invitation only? I have a little exercise for you, and it's one of my usual badly drawn things that's probably going to come up the wrong way. But what I'm doing here is draw a circle in the middle of a sheet of paper. And in the middle of that circle, write, yes please, you can come in close and you can stay close. Round the outside of that circle, I want to say to you, there have the people who are by invitation only. And think about it. That need to, and it can be things as well. Not just people. It can be people who ask for one thing, and that's okay. That is, within your boundaries. Then you have somebody who's saying, can you lend me 100 quid? Can you lend me £1,000? And you think about it and you go, actually, that's out with. That is beyond. That is the other side of what's okay. And it's a confidence thing as well. And it's very, very interesting to just observe in other people. Where are they confident? Where are they not so confident? Who's going yes, yes, yes? And who's going, whoa, no, I don't think so. Because when people have got poor boundaries, you don't know where you are with them. And I hold my hands up. I've done it. I have been she of the shitty boundaries. I have been she who has not made it clear. And for me, some of that has come out of what, you might call ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, where my feelings were trampled all over, where I was not a consideration, I was a chattel. And you have this expectation then that it is not okay for you to say no. You go through life making it easy for other people at a cost to yourself. So yeah, just come back to that idea of what's okay, what's in your circle, and what is by invitation only on those outer edges. It's important, really important, to value yourself. And when people see those boundaries, then there isn't any judgment. There isn't any sense of that's not okay. It's a sense of, okay, that's who she is. That's how she is. She likes things done a certain way. And it's absolutely fine to have things done a certain way, to not be following through with what somebody else is saying, what somebody else is wanting, because we're then going back to the people pleasing, making it all right for somebody else at a cost to yourself. And the cost can be financial as well as physical, mental, emotional. I'll do it. I'll sort it. I'll make it okay. I haven't got any boundaries. It's fine. Do what you like. And putting that out really isn't good. And it isn't something that you want to be giving to somebody you're working with. It isn't something that's okay. So yeah, it's all interesting. It's all a consideration. And the more we make things okay for other people, is it always the case that we have to make things not okay for ourselves? Or can we actually say, not today? I'll come back to you on that one. I don't have all the facts at the moment to give you an answer. Because I'm telling you, I've been in the position where I felt I have to give an answer immediately. I have to respond now. I have to make it right now. And this, goes back to childhood blah, childhood crap. And, having a mum that was ill, as I've mentioned before, having to respond and put my stuff to the back. And the thing is, if you've grown up constantly responding to somebody else's needs, to somebody else's wants, to somebody else's desires, then you don't know what you want. You don't know where your boundaries are. You're not even sure, perhaps, who you are. It's interesting. It's more than interesting. Who am I? What am I about? Where do I start? And where does somebody else finish? Am I me? Or am I an extension of somebody else? And I can remember a phase in my 20s going, okay, I am just, the seamstress for this interior designer that I work for. I am just my father's daughter. I am just whoever's girlfriend. And it was like, was very much as later I realised how much I had been the backbone for other people through people pleasing. I had been their rock because they'd always known I was there. I was my father's rock after my mum died. I was this designer's rock in terms of I would go in there at 7:30 in the morning and maybe not come out till 10 in the winter if we had big stuff we needed to get out for people's houses for Christmas. And I was important, but I was hidden. People talk about the power behind the throne. I don't know if I was the power behind the throne. I think I was the throne. Because I was like there. I was, yeah. So yeah, Philippa, the rock did get tired. What happened for me was I got repetitive strain injury in my wrist. was diagnosed as repetitive strain injury, carpal tunnel. I had tests. I was in the operating theatre, ready to have some nerve sheath or something, I forget, ready to have, not nerve sheath, muscles cut in part of my wrist. And I'm forgetting my A&P as I'm talking. And I was on that operating theatre table, and this was just local anaesthetic, tourniquet on my arm, and I just said, I don't want this. Now, part of that was because I wasn't going to be able to wash my own hair, and the guy I was with was just flaky and unreliable, and didn't have a lot of trust there. So anyway, long story short, I left my job. And yes, Sammy, that was emotional pain causing a physical problem. If my wrist is hurting, I'm not being very flexible. Not being flexible for me. Feeling I've got to do this. And it was repetitive. It was hand sewing curtains. It was hand sewing linings into curtains for flipping big houses. And these were like 12-foot drops, 3-4 metre drops. And was hard. It was mad. But, it wasn't a horrible job. It was just bloody hard work. And it meant I couldn't sew anymore. Well, it doesn't mean I can't sew anymore. It means I've got to be bloody careful. It taught me to look after me. And I stopped working. I claimed benefits. And I finished my degree. I'd been doing my degree in the evenings. My degree in history of art that I'd wanted to do. I completed my degree. I also started seeing a homeopath properly and uncovered a whole load more emotional shit, which kept me moving, kept me going. And my boundaries, they were pretty bloody schlonky. They were, not brilliant. My boundaries had been appalling in terms of my work. It was like, could you, Fiona? Well, they didn't have to ask. I could just see, and I was in there like swimwear, because I wanted to be approved of. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be appreciated. I wanted to be needed. And that was kind of all I felt I was fit for. So, yeah. Stuff that, when I look back, feels like a very, very different lifetime. And maybe we do run several lifetimes within this one. I don't know. I don't know at all. But I know that stopping my straight job made me then be able to look at the alternatives and to say to myself, what do you want? And, the sickness benefit system was kind to me, and I was pretty frugal, and I was able to then start thinking, let's come back to this. I was then able to start thinking, what do I want in my inner circle? What is the yes please, coming close and stay close? And what is on the outside? What is by invitation only? having limitations made me stop. And that's where the body's inherent wisdom just leaps in and goes, stop, excuse me, listen. And, I proceeded finishing History of Art degree. I taught myself tarot. I did loads of counselling type trainings and took myself off on a different trajectory. And my wrist's not working. And I still have to be careful with it. Made me start thinking, where do I need to be flexible? Where have I been inflexible with myself? Why am I thinking there's only one way? Because it wasn't true. It really wasn't true. So, thank you very, very much for bearing with me, for listening. My name is Fiona Dilston, and this is Brand Builders TV. And if you want to touch base with me, if something that I've mentioned today has touched something in you, do feel free to message me or to book yourself a 20-minute chemistry call, and that is calendly.com/Fiona Dilston, and you'll find me. I'm the only Fiona Dilston anywhere that I know of. Okay, lots of love, and thank you so much. And yes, Sammy, your body'll tell you, but it's wise to stop before it starts shouting too loudly. Lots of love. Many thanks. Bye-bye.
I hope that you've enjoyed the show today as much as we've enjoyed making it for you. If you've got anything out of this episode, please do tell someone else how they can subscribe to the Brand Builders TV channel at youtube.com/brandbuilderstv. Why not join us at our next Brand Builders Thinkubator, a global mastermind that we run every week to take away the loneliness of being in business on your own. For more information and to book your place, visit light.brandbuilders.club/Thinkubator. That's light.brandbuilders.club/Thinkubator. Until next time, be the ripple that you wish to see in the world, and we'll see you soon.